what you seeing is.
Yeah. What up, my people? This is ShowBizz the Adult. I'm not sure if you've seen my series in regards to Keith Thurman being scared of Errol Spence.
It's Keith sometime Thurman, baby. Hey.
Proofs 1 and 2. Especially proof 2. Proof 2 was very funny. Like, I've been reading the comments, all right? And, you know, I don't respond to everybody, but I do read them. For the most part, people are laughing and agreeing. And then there's those who are supporters of Keith Thurman, or if not just supporters of Keith Thurman, they can understand where he's coming from. Man, first of all, I want to say I was a huge fan of Keith Thurman. Huge fan of Keith Thurman. I've been rocking with Keith Thurman since, I mean, way back. It's been some years, man. And what I liked about him wasn't the fact, I mean, he was knocking everybody out. I mean, he was one-time Thurman, knocking people out, power in both hands. But what I liked about him wasn't so much his boxing talent. I mean, the guy is more talented now. Like, his skills are better now than they were before. The guy is better now than he was before. Before, you know, he was knocking everybody out, and it's easier to knock out tomato cans. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to knock those guys out, but that's no fault of his own. But what I liked about him wasn't the fact that he was knocking everybody out. It wasn't so much of his skill. It was his spirit. Look, if you don't want to get knocked out, don't swing. I mean, that's how it was fighting Keith Thurman. I mean, he's already going to hunt you down, to knock you out. But if you touch him, oh, he's responding immediately, kind of like how Holyfield was. I liked his mentality outside the ring, who he was. I mean, this guy was saying stuff like, you know, I'm not afraid to let it go. If you can beat me, beat me. I mean, he was saying things that sounded like, you know, fighters in the past, man, stuff that I thought was gone. I figured Floyd Mayweather changed the game. You know, this guy's getting paid out the, you know, ass. On top of that, he still got his wits about him. He's one of the fighters that's not sounding like a fighter, no slurred speech. So I figured he changed the game. And when I saw Keith Thurman, you know, he was a guy that didn't sound like that. You know, he sounded like he wanted to take on the whole welterweight division. So I love that guy. Then I'm hearing about Errol Spence, guy coming from the Olympics. He gave Floyd Mayweather a black eye, possibly KO'd AB in a sparring session. Look, man, this Errol Spence, you know, he sounded like he all right. And then my brother hit me up. You know, my brother, shout out to you, Kurt. You know, Kurt hit me up, and Kurt was like, hey, Nate, man, I got, you know, footage of this guy, man. Check him out. So check out the YouTube, and the dude's a beast. So my immediate response was, I can't wait to see him against Keith Thurman. And Keith Thurman continued to impress me, man. The dude wanted to fight for free. You know, I didn't have to pay, you know, pay-per-view. I'm not sure if he could get that type of, you know, match. So I'm like, look, man, this is going to be a modern day Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, man. Like, I'm thinking, you know, these are two cats that's going to be at the top. I mean, look, Hearns had the baby fro. You know what I'm saying? Hearns ain't have the big fro, curl Hearns. Young Hearns against a young Sugar Ray Leonard, and they clashed, and Sugar knocked him out. So I'm thinking I'm going to see some stuff like that. The G-Man against the Hawk, though the Hawk was getting older. I'm just saying the Hawk took that like, man, what up? And then, you know, you saw something different from Keith. As Errol Spence was coming up, what made me a fan of Keith, he stopped doing. He sound like that against Danny Garcia, jumping in the ring, you know, calling him out. He sound like that against, you know, Sean Porter. It looked like he was going to fight both of their fathers. Man, this guy is a smart dude. I mean, he say stuff like, you know, Triple G against Canelo. You know, Triple G should have went to the body more. What round was thrown here? How many punches were thrown? And, you know, Danny Garcia, what he should have done. You know, Sean Porter, how aggressive he is and his punch output and what caused this and that. So look, he's sounding different. I have no problem. I have no problem with him not fighting Errol Spence next. He can fight him in 2019, though I would love to see him fight, you know, before they're in their 30s. I would love to see him fight I mean, this is January 2018, for Christ's sake. I understand the elbow injury. I understand it's not smart, and forget not smart. I wouldn't want to see it. I wouldn't want to see a half injured Keith Thurman, or not at his peak Keith Thurman against a peak Errol Spence. That would do nothing for me. I want to see both of them guys at their peak. You know, one not being at 100, that doesn't do anything for me. My thing is, if your elbow is injured, you shouldn't fight anybody. It's not that he's not fighting him immediately. It's his spirit about it. You can see as soon as someone brings up Errol Spence, the spirit leaves this guy. I mean, he dances around. He's talking about Kobe Bryant. I don't know, KD. Talking about Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn can get it. You know, yeah, who knows? You know, he can get it if he keep talking shit. But when someone says, hey, are you going to fight Errol Spence next? Errol Spence been saying this and saying that. He start dancing. You know what I'm saying? It makes me dislike the guy. You know what I mean? I mean, forget hyping the fight. You don't have to promote the fight like a coward. I'm not more interested in a fight that you're sounding cowardly about it. I would be more interested if you were sounding brave. So sounding like a coward, that makes me question the fight. If you're going to be, it's almost like you said something about you being number 2 in the world, and you don't mind that. That makes me feel that you're already setting up the loss. So that's why I'm making these videos, man. I'm making these videos to say I see it. And I see you trying to reach way back here to come up with some kind of answer that can satisfy everybody. Now, I'm not saying throw yourself in a situation like Roy Jones did. Roy Jones fought for the heavyweight title. He got the heavyweight title. He let Tarver say something in a post conference to get under his skin. And he's like, man, hey, look, sign the contract right now. I want this chump. And he won that fight. People forget that, but he got knocked out in the second. I mean, it was the beginning of his decline because he just jumped in there. I'm just saying, as a fighter, your pilot light can't be out. If Errol Spence is just, I'm looking at Errol Spence like balling his lip up and jumping at you and stuff like that. Come on, man. Like who am I going to root for? Who am I going to say, hey, man, that looks like somebody I can aspire to be like as a fighter, as a person approaching every day? It ain't going to be Keith, because I know Keith is a fighter when it comes to people he thinks he can beat. So, man, hey, look, man, I'm going to have to make fun of you, kid.
What you saying is the one and only satellite, council in the sky at night. You know it's ShowBizz, right?